Hello guys, today we learn how to create a RESTful WCF web service using the web application ASP.NET C#. To implement this, you have required Visual Studio 2015, SQL Server 2012 or any other upper version of the service. When you get the following output in XML format like employee details. Like you can see, there is tag root element employee details, and there is children employee, and there is children of this parent employee ID, employee names, employee CT. So this is the first record of the employee. Same way, employee ID, employee name, salary, employee CT. There is second record of the employee. So it may be possible there are many records in the database which can be received through the WCF RESTful service through the GET method. Now let us understand what is WCF Web Service. Windows Communication Foundation means WCF is a framework for building service-oriented applications, and it allows communication between different applications over various protocols, and also it supports interoperability, security, reliability, and transaction. Now, how can do that in web application to create a WCF web service? Let us see. First, we will open Visual Studio 2015 and add a new empty website. After that, we will add a default.aspx page, and then after adding a one default page, we will add a WCF Web Service.cs page from add new one. When we add a WCF Web Service, basically three pages will be created. One like EmployeeService.svc, second one is IEmployeeService.cs, that is interface, and third one is EmployeeService.cs, that is implementation of the interface. This implied service will be created in the root, and this two web service page IEmployeeService and EmployeeService will be created in the app code folders. After that, when you will see there is web.config file, it will be modified after adding this WCF service. So after adding this service, also need to configure web.config file for the endpoints so that clients can be access your web service. Now understands. First, when you create that IEmployeeService.cs, so let us understand what will be happen. There will be service contract, IEmployeeService attributes define the interface as a WCF service. In IEmployeeService, there is also OperationContract attribute marks the method as a service operations, and there is WebInvoke method attributes configure the HTTP GET method and XML format for request and response. So you can see here IEmployeeService.cs, there is service contract attribute define interface as WCF service, and their interface is IEmployeeService, and you can see this is the WebInvoke method where you can write method equal to get or post, and this is WebInvoke for the get method, and request format you can see web message format .xml, response format also you can see message format .xml, and body style you can see web message body style rep request. And here you can give customized URL method name so that you can access via this method the web service. Like URI template, you can see get them, and there is one operation contract attributes mark the method as a service operation. So here we are returning XML element, and there is method employee details. After that, employee details need to implement this service interface service. So you can see here for this employee service.svc service implementation file employee service.svc, and in top you can see sp.net compatibility requirement mod equal to allowed, means allow sp.net compatibility mod, and implement the IEmployeeService interface and defines the employee data method to retrieve and return employee data as a XML. So in here you can see return type XML element, and that is employee data. You can see that is the interface of this OperationContract employee method. Here it is the implementation. So in this implementation, this method will connect to database, and connecting database it will take the output, and after that it will convert into the XML element. So this method will do that for this. You can see here. After that we convert data to XML format. In XML document we define. So whenever we get XML string from this, so we uh, need to return a XML element. So simply we have write where doc1 equal to new XML document, a doc1 load XML strings it, and after that we return doc1 dot document element. So this is the method which can return data from database and convert into the XML element, and when we call this service we return the all the details of the employee, all employee. And also we also need to configure the web config file. So this is the web config file. You can see in web config file you can see when you create a WCF service, so this tag will be added automatically in the web config file, and after that you put services and service name equal to employee service. This name will be the service name when you define, like you can see here in top I have created. So employee service.spc employee service. So this name will be added in service name. So this will call employee service, and behavior configuration we put here default. And after that there is host, and in host closing statement then there is base address. You can put here base address means equal to localhost. This one you can put your live or your local machine host, whatever you will get port. And after putting this host we need a port a endpoint. So endpoint here you can see address you need to take as a blank, and binding web http binding, and contract we put here interface name. So simply we have write IEmployeeService, and behavior configuration you can web config. And second we put endpoint address equal to max binding max http binding, and contract imeta data exchange, and this service will be closed, and behaviors will automatically will be created. So name will be blank, so behaviors name you put web behavior, and here you have defined behavior configuration. So whatever you put here behavior, so also need to put here web behavior. and after that you put web HTTP to assign your service in HTTP protocol. Now also take some definition of web HTTP binding. In WCF, Windows Communication Foundations is used to create RESTful service that work over HTTP, and it is especially designed for scenario where the service need to support the protocol, HTTP protocol, and interact with clients using standard web technology such as REST. Unlike the more traditional SOAP-based bindings, web HTTP binding is geared towards HTTP-based communications, which often uses JSON or XML for data exchange. So from this using RESTful service, you can return a JSON or XML. You can see in uh, like when we define the I interface. So here you can see invoke method get, and here you can write XML or JSON. According data will be returned. Now see the benefits of this web HTTP binding. Now HTTP protocol here used. So it supports HTTP and HTTPS protocol suitable for web-based services, and RESTful service designed for RESTful service implementation. And there is one thing also know that flexible data formats support multiple data formats such as XML and JSON, and also X more lightweight compared to SOAP-based bindings, and it doesn't require formal contract definitions and message enveloping. Some key value in configuration file also be noted here, like binding define WebHTTP binding configuration in you can see in webconfig file, and services configure the service endpoint using the WebHTTP bindings, and behaviors configure service behaviors including metadata and debugging options, and also service hosting environment allow the service to run under ASP.NET compatibility mode if they require, and enabling web HTTP behaviors. Use web HTTP bindings, you need to add a web HTTP behaviors to the endpoint. In WCF, Windows Communication Foundation makes HTTP bindings and the iMetadata exchange interface are key components related to the metadata exchange and service discovery. They enable clients to discover services and retrieve metadata required for communication. Now let us create a WCF service, and we will add and configure the config files and very easy manner. Now let us see. Open Visual Studio and now click File, New Website. Select here ASP.NET Empty Website, and you can put here WCF Web Service sample. Now click on OK button. Now our web service project file will be created, and first you click on web config. When you open the web config file, you can see your first configuration. System.web, there is compilation debug. Now after that you can see HTTP runtime target framework 4.6.1 and system.web, and after that you can see configuration. So this web config file now simple. After that we need to add one default page. So add add new item, web forms, you can see default.aspx. You can add. So your default page will be added here. Now need to add a WCF. After default service added, you can see there is no change in Web.config file. Now add a WCF service. So add new item and you can put here like WCF in such. So WCF service will become here. You see here and Visual C sharp and you can put here service name. Service name. Service name apply service. Click on add button. So you can see there is pop-up message. The file has unsafe changes inside the editor and has been changed externally. Do you want to reload it? Reload it? Yes to all. So you can see here our web service EmployeeService.svc will be added in the root folder and this added code behind like employee service in app code. So there is two files will be added like employee service and IEmployee service. There is one we will go here and put the name space like system.xml, put semicolon. In interface, you can see there is service contract and there is operation contract. Operation contract above we can put here WebInvoke method. So that's will be accessible through the method get or push. Service model dot web we need to add. So this will be added you can see here. Here you can see web invoke method represents an attribute indicating that service operation is logically an invoke operator to get request format web message format data the format of web message and the response format is by the response format property get and set enumeration that is specify whether the rep parameter and return value and URI template the uniform resource identifier template for service operation and I put here get emp and after that you put change here like XML element which can be returned and method name implied data. So when we will go in employee service, there should be a employee service need to implement this service. So simply click on this and implement service and remove this one. So here you can see public XML element imply data and here you can implement your own. Now define like also need to put here a name is space system.xml then define XML document XML doc equal to new XML document. Now first we define a XML string later we will connect to database and get the implied detail. So simply I put like a string XML string for understanding and you can put here XML strings. So XML strings you can see like first we put like so you will get the in one line you can put here and put semicolon so that you can see there is XML string I put a static like imply details imply and then imply ID only one entry name here you can see after that we load this like XML doc dot load. So here you can see there is service model will be added and behavior service behaviors and service hosting environment Net comparability enabled, true, and multi-site bindings enabled, true. Now need to configure services. So what we will do? Put here services, then after service. So here you can see service name required. So put here name equal to what will be name? Service name means employee service dot svc. So you can put here this one. After that, behavior configurations. Also you write down behavior configuration. Then after that you can put host in host base addresses, then add base address or service where you have configure live URLs. So you can put here. After putting like host, we need to add like endpoint. So you put here endpoints. In endpoints, you can see here SSI binding contact address properties for service endpoint, which is used to expose service. So first you will see address, which can be blank. After that, bindings. Here we will put HTTP web HTTP binding for RESTful web service. Then after that, behavior configurations. Then after that, you can see contract. Need to put contract. In contract, we will put the interface. Means here you can see interface name IEmployeeService. So interface name, and there is behavior configurations. In behavior configurations, you can put web behaviors, and this win point will be close. Now also you can close here, and one more endpoint say we will add endpoints address blank and binding equal to max HTTP binding you can put here, and address you can put here like max. Then contract I metadata exchange and close this endpoints, and you can close from this one also. So remove this. So you can see endpoint will be configured here. After it point there behaviors in bottom service behavior, then behavior name. In behavior name we put here web behaviors. Okay. Now this is done for web configurations, and here you can see this is the interface service get method and method to call for get emp and XML element, and implementations of this interface employee service. You can see I put here currently static XML string, and that will be returns. Now run first these applications and see what will be happen. Now to set like this default page will be set as a start page and run these applications. So here you can see your default page file will be displayed, and here is the base address. If it is different, then you can put this, like you can put here base address here. Now open the Postman. I open this and add one new tag, and need to put what, base address, and then method. What will be method? You can see method name is here, get emp. This is the get method and get emp, and also put here like service name here. Is the service name. This is this one, EmployeeService.svc. So also need to put here in uh, here's .svc. Now click on send. Currently you are getting internal server error. Need to check first. Here you can see there is no service behavior name default. So let us see what will happen here. In behaviors, you can put endpoint behaviors. Then after that, we will put behavior name equal to web behavior, and behavior will be close. After that, need to add web HTTP to run it on the HTTP protocol. You can put web HTTP. So this will done, and in service behaviors and behavior name, you will put like default. Now run these applications and click on go to Postman and click on send. So you can see it here, our debug point will become here in implementation of interface, and now press F10 and see this is the strings. You can get string here, XML strings. Now this will be returns. Now you can see 200k, that is success. Now you can see the XML which can be received from the RESTful web service, like employee ID, employee ID1, employee details. So thus we can see the RESTful service will be implemented here. Interface also you must put here like SP net compatibility requirement mount, SP net compatibility requirement mount dot allow whenever we required. Also need to add namespace for this using system service model activation. So that is done. So now you can see here one overview like where service WCF added and two CS file class file like employee interface I employee service, and implementation of this also done this employee service. So this is a static which can be returned. Now here we comment this line and return the from database. So better understanding whenever required a data from database to send the other systems and other machines. So according to requirement, we will access database and make a XML element and return this. Now let us see. So first need to add namespace for SQL connection, SQL client. Also like you can see data table. So need to added namespace for system.data. So now let us understand how to create XML element doc from the database. Now first you see in implementation of interface IEmployee data method. So first we need to connect database. You can see here SQL connection, new SQL connection, and I put here data source and database name and user ID password which will connect to database. Maybe it will be local system or local systems are your production servers. After that I write a query like a string SQL equal to select star from employee which will get the data from the record from the table employee and need a set like data set equal to dataset ds equal to new dataset, and after that I put SQL data adapter to fetch the data from database. So SQL data adapter DA new SQL data adapter SQL and con and fill the dataset you put like DS and imply details name of the dataset. Now after that getting value in dataset, we need to create a XML document. So what we will write XML document xdoc equal to new XML document. To first we create the root element like you can see in the XML output like implied details. So what we will write like XML element object root and XML dot create element and put the name of the root element implied details, and after creating you need to add it in root element. So XML dot append child root, so this element will be added in the root and create will be implied details. So this root element will be created from this. After that we need to store this dataset value in data table. So you can put dataset dot tables. In tables there is a implied detail. So this dataset value will be put in data table here. Now after that we need to create like this root element, this root of this parent element of this root element, and then children of this parent element. So first we need to create element of parent. So you can see data table. So I have read write iterate through each data row and create action element. So for each data row in data table dot rows. So first we need to create root element like this one imply. So simply XML element make object imply XML doc dot create element imply. Then after adding this we need to append in the root element. So what we will write here like already added root. So after that root dot append child and imply. So this imply tag will be added in the root element imply children. After that need to element create a like employee ID and their value, name and salary city. So how can we can create? Let us see. Create and append a child element. So same way we can create XML element, imply ID, XML doc dot create element and put the tag name like imply ID. So imply ID will be created, and after that we need to create a value like one. So what will you put like a PID dot inner tags. This will become from data table means row imply ID dot to string. Then also need to add this in the this element means this child element need to add it append in this imply. So only we write imply that append child in imply ID. So this value we added in this imply, and also need to this tag like imply name, salary, imply city. So same way we can create like you can see XML element imply name XL doc create element imply name and get a data row from this and add a value set imply name and append the child. So that's why we can say same kit for Sally and for employee city. When after adding this element for all the rows in the database in data table, so we will be added and now I want to store in a string. So a string XML string equal to XML dot inner XML dot to string. From this way we'll get the XML data into XML string. Now need to convert this XML string to XML element. So simply we create a new XML document where doc1 equal to new XML document and doc1 dot load XML string. Then after that we need to return element. So doc1 dot document element. So this will be written as a XML element and you can see the interface here. This one interface imply service and the method is get. Now run it again. This WCF. Now open Postman's. Now click again. So now data will come from database and return all the employee records whichever in the database. Now click now send. So you can see here after clicking on send buttons you can see all the data in from database can be written as a XML, the XML format like root element employee details and employee there is first record employee ID name salary city same way second record and this is a third record and fourth one and this is a fifth one. Now check whether this XML string is valid or not. So open XML viewer and put here. Now click on validate. So you can see valid XML. Also you can beautify this XML. So click on this and you can see here XML format like implied details and implied tag and their value. So that is done. This way we can create a RESTful service in WCF. We are using the RESTful service using the get method. Thanks for watching my YouTube videos. If you want to more videos, please subscribe my YouTube channel.